So if you have or you're using one-time passwords with token devices, you have to have the right software, of course. The users are going to have the tokens, and then on your authentication service, that the actual accounts are going to be created. And how it usually works, it depends upon the product, but usually like an administrator will set up your account, and then it's going to use like the serial number of your token device within the software that's going to be able to know what to do with these one-time passwords. So what happens is that, let's say I have a token. Now there's a number that's going to be shown to me that's constantly changing because it's the time. It's based on its internal clock. Now when I need to actually authenticate, I'm going to look at that number. I'll put in my username, I'll look at that number, and that number is my password. It's my one-time password. In reality, it's taking the time, it's using a unique seed, which is just a unique value, and it's giving me this number. So my username and this one-time password goes over to the authentication service. The authentication service will look up in its user account, yep, there's Sean Harris, and then it's going to decrypt what my one-time password is, and it's going to look at the value. And if the value is what it expected, then I'm going to be authenticated. Now, the value can only be what it expects if the clocks on the actual token and the clock on the authentication service are synchronized. And sometimes there's actually a shift where the token device will shift in its time, and it has to be like recalibrated. So again, if I'm using this type of system for authentication, I have some type of a username, some type of identification. There's a value that's shown to me on the token, and what that value is the internal time and a seed value that's combined. Then that is usually encrypted. It's sent over to the authentication server. The authentication server decrypts and looks at my account and sees if that's the one-time password that it's expecting. So those are the different steps. If there's actually, if they match, then I'm authenticated. If there's not a match, then I'm rejected. And these are being used more and more because access control the needs are only increasing because the attacks and people getting a hold of sensitive information. And like I said, in the banking, for online banking, the government has said that we need to have strong authentication for people who are doing online banking. So things like token devices are being used more and more.